Hello everyone, it's Lucy and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make fried plantains and also how to fry them in a couple of different variations, as well as how I prep them for the freezer for later use. And as you can see in the background, I got my baby Max. He's going to be my sous chef today to help me grate some plantains to show you one of the ways to fry them. But first, before we start, I want to start my induction cooktop here because I want to start making a garlic oil that we use over the plantains, or tostones as we call them, to drizzle. It's delicious. And there's so many different ways to do it because there's so many things you can add to enhance, not just with garlic, but with other spices and herbs. But I'm gonna keep it really, really simple. So I already have a half a cup of olive oil in my pot here, and I have in this little container already, I grated with a microplane minced small head of garlic, and we're going to put that in there in the oil because we want to infuse the oil, but we do not want to bring it to a boil or turn the garlic brown because it would be bitter, and that would be no bueno, right, Papi? You don't want that? No. So into my oil goes the minced garlic. And we're gonna just move that around to make sure it's all in there incorporated just right. And then we're just gonna let it simmer. Let it come to a simmer and leave it there for like 5 minutes simmering. This induction cooktop is really great for stuff like this. And so that's what we're gonna do with that. Just put this aside. And I'll be checking that periodically. So, here are two of my plantains. Now you may say, these plantains are really small. Well, there's a reason for it. If you don't anchor your banana plant, what happens if it's a big old gust of wind comes, it'll knock your bananas over. And depending on how it injured the banana plant, you may be able to salvage your plantain or your banana because it'll still continue to mature. But in this case, the wind knocked it over, it wasn't anchored, but the banana didn't come to full maturity because literally it would be like double the size, but it came to maturity enough that we can make plantains with them. So in here I have a bowl full of plantains that I've already peeled and cut up according to certain sizes, which I'll be talking about in a minute. And I left 2 plantains unpeeled because I want to show you how I peel them. It's very easy, and how we prepare these for frying. So I always wear my trusty gloves because all root vegetables and plantains or bananas give out this really sticky substance that can wreak havoc on the hands and even in your knives. So here we have 2 plantains. We're just gonna cut the ends like so. Put those aside to dump away later. And then you take a knife and you pierce it. You see, you pierce it right here on the rib. So you want to run your knife right through there. Go ahead and do it on both. And then I take, you can take a butter knife. Here I have a plastic spreader. And then you just peel away, as you can see, you peel away the skin from the banana, just like that. And then you can go ahead and move on to your fingers. And you can see how it just peels right off of that. See? I love the noise that it makes as the skin is peeling from the banana. Sometimes it peels easily, sometimes it doesn't. That's just the way that it is. And once it's peeled, you just run your knife, in this case I have a little plastic knife here, through it, just like that. Scrape it. And there you have that. And we're going to do the same here. We already sliced it down the rib, and we're just pulling away at the skin. Just like so. There we go. Keeping an eye on my oil. because I don't want it to come to a boil. That would be not good. So here we go. Normally these peel away pretty easy, right? But because I'm doing a video, it doesn't want to peel away that great. But here we go. And we come and we just peel away any little skin that may have stayed there. Sometimes they have like a little black line. You just scrape that off and do as I'm doing. Now I'm gonna hand these to my son. He's gonna wash them and grate them, and I'm gonna tell you why in a little bit. Toma, papi. Here you go. So, see how I tell you? The knife gets a very, I don't know if you can see it there, a very sticky substance on there, as well as your knife. So, my suggestion or tip is, if you fry plantains a lot, to literally invest in one of those cheapy choppy knives and butter knife at Walmart. They sell them individually. That's the best way to kind of preserve your other knives, because sometimes you have to put a Brillo pad to them to remove that sticky substance on there, and that is not fun. So I'm gonna keep these and put this aside over here. So now we have our plantains. Now, how are we going to smash these plantains to make the fried plantain, right? We're going to use one of these two. And you don't need these little fancy gadgets here, right? You can use anything. We use anything. You can use the back of a saucer. You can use the bottom of a jar. You can use a paper bag. You can use anything, but don't use your hand because you're going to burn yourself. But anything that allows you to smash it together and be able to spatula that bad boy up and fry it is great. So here we have my tostone. That's plastic, nothing expensive, nothing fancy, right? And I like it, and I paid I think $1 for this. I bought this. This has been with me for so long, but it has an indentation there like that. Some are a little deeper than others. I like this one because it'll give me a nice crispy tostone, and that's what I like. I like toasty. I like crispy tostones instead of the thick ones. And here, this is another way to make a tostone, which is little tostone cups. And as you can see, you see this little device? It has an opening here, like a little bowl, right? And then it has this, which is going to mold the tostone right in here, the plantain. When you smash it, you're just going to mold it to that bowl shape. And those make tostone cups. And normally with those, we fill it. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. So here we have our plantains already chopped, right? I have already chopped the other ones, cut them all up to the size. But I'm going to cut one up for a regular tostone. So the tostone size is whatever size you cut your plantain. Okay, so if you want a small tostone, like a quarter size, you cut it, small. And then you kind of eyeball it and you kind of get the idea if you smashed it, what size it would be. I like medium-sized tostones. I don't like them too big unless I'm using it for something else. Normally, regular-sized tostones I like. And it's about, about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in like this. You see, you cut them up this size and they make a nice size tostone. And for the cup ones, you're going to want to cut them a little bit bigger because you want to be able to cover that whole area in order to create the little tostone cup. So for that, I'm going to cut it in half. Okay? Now, how to fry the tostones. The tostones are fried in 2 phases, right? Once you cut them, you fry them. And then, after you fry them to the consistency where you can literally stick a toothpick in them and it'll go through. You don't want to over fry them that it'll get crispy, because then you won't be able to smash them the way that you want. And so you have to keep an eye on the tostones or the plantains as you're frying them to be able to get them the consistency you want to have a successful smashing of the plantains, if you will, right? And so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my oil, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to fry the tostones. So my oil is ready to fry my tostones. So I'm going to take them and just Put them in there, standing up this way. Doesn't matter if you overcrowd them or not. I'm going to start with the smaller ones, which are the ones that I will be smashing and doing the traditional tostones with. So tostones are done, like I said, in two phases. There are two fries. Once you cut them up, you're going to fry them to the consistency that I just mentioned, where you can stick a toothpick and it's soft. And then you're going to take them out of the oil, drain it, the oil off of it, and then you're going to use your tostonera or the tostone cup maker, smash them, and once you have that done, we're going to fry them again until they're crispy. So as you can see here, I have my tostones going, and I'm just going to take my tongue and basically turn them over as such. So here we have our plantains. They're all in my dish with paper towels. And I'm going to go ahead at this particular time and just sprinkle some salt on there. So that way when I smash them, that salt is incorporated in there. I'm going to start to smash these because these are going to be my regular tostones. Okay? Let me get another paper towel there. Move this aside. Ooh, I need a bigger space. Let's see, don't need that right now. So here we got our trusty tostone. What we're going to do is we're going to place one tostone in the center like that. And then we're going to take this and we're just going to smash it down like so. Put some elbow grease in there. And then here you have your tostone. You see? Let's move that in there. Just like so. You see that? And since it's in oil, they come out easily. And we just put that on our plate. And we just continue doing it. Just like that. Like a little factory, a little tostone line here going. Papi, you want to continue smashing these for me and putting them on a plate while I check these out? This is why you need another person helping you in the kitchen, because this goes really quickly. It moves really quickly. You can't even see his head. It's cut off this boy. It's all 6'4", let me tell you. My gigante. Ah. If you want to, baby, you can take, feel it's so rude that I chopped his head off in the If you want to, you can go ahead and remove this over here, and you can work on it over here so people can see your beautiful face, puppy. Okay, and let me know when those tostones are ready. So while that is getting done, let's talk a little bit about the tostone cups. The tostone cups are really cute. They're adorable, right? So we'll fill it with seafood, pernil, ground beef, you know, any kind of picadillo. Seafood seems to be, like shrimp seems to be the most popular one. The tostones, we eat them as an appetizer, but most of the time we eat them as part of a meal, and they're delicious. And let me tell you, we have become very creative with how we use the fried plantain. And here we go, see? Nice and soft. These are bigger because, like I said, we're going to be making those plantain cups. And so I'm going to get these out. I'm telling you, it moves really fast. I mean, when you're doing this, it's like bam, 1, 2, 3. So now we have our little tostonera to make the little cups. And again, I like to put the salt all over it, not so much so it incorporates into the tostone when I'm smashing it. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and put one in there. Hopefully, I cut them big enough that it'll do what it's supposed to do. There we go. So I put it in like so, you see, and now I'm going to go ahead and smash it. Sometimes we'll need to put another one in there so we can get the right cup size. You never know with this, right? Because I don't do this that often. But here we go. One, so here we go. Get that aggression out. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that adorable, people? Woo. Love it. And then the tricky part sometimes is getting it out. Grab it and pop it out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that little cup. You see? But I'm not going to fry this because I didn't make any filling. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to flash freeze these, and I'm going to freeze them for another time. So that, again, is one of the ways that I prepare my fried plantains for use on another day. So I'm going to go ahead, and I have a rack here. It's a big old cookie sheet that I use with two grates on there. I don't know what you would call those, like racks, baking racks. And I just place these there, and then I'll flash freeze them for about a half an hour to 45 minutes, and then I'll store them in a freezer bag. So here we have our tostones that my son, thank you baby, was nice enough to smash. And then we're gonna do the second fry. So here we have our tostones. I can't talk today, people, on our second fry. And I've already turned them around a couple of times. And what you want to do is hit it in the back and hear that little thump. You hear that? That means it's nice and crispy, and that's exactly what you're looking for and what you want. After we finish frying these, of course, let them cool off, and then we'll drizzle some garlic oil over it, and they're going to be so delicious. I'm pretty sure my son cannot wait. Let's talk a little bit about the oil. The oil, as I mentioned at the beginning, you can infuse it not just with the garlic. People put all kinds of herbs and spices in there. This is not just good for drizzling. I mean, you can saute things with this oil. You can use it to dip breads in the oil. I mean, it's just not for tostones, but it's something that we definitely love, and it's a staple when we are making tostones. We also use mayo ketchup. In another video, I actually showed you how to make mayo ketchup. So if I remember, I'll link that video down in the description box below so you can take a look at that and check it out. Very super easy. So now I'm gonna put these aside because I had, if you remembered, my son grating some plantains. And in another way that we actually, I brought another trusty bowl. Another way that we will also fry these is by grating them and making what we call arañitas. Now, I don't know why they call them that. To me, it really looks more like a fried plantain hash brown, to be honest. And they're actually good for breakfast, not just for like an appetizer. These are good for breakfast. You come and you make a fried egg and put it in the center. Oh my God, it's delicious. But here it is. He shredded it on the biggest shredder part on the Grate box. And I'm gonna go ahead and dump that right in there. And at this point, I put it in a bigger bowl because I'm going to add some garlic powder to it. I'm not gonna add salt. I'll do that at the end when I fry it. But I'll put some garlic powder in there, just enough, just eyeball it to your own taste, right? And then we're going to go ahead and mix it. Now, it's a little sticky, so you don't need to incorporate an egg or anything in it because it'll just adhere to itself, as you can see. Just like hash browns, just like if you were doing hash browns. And then you take it, and what you wanna do is you wanna smash it down on your palm like that, like so. Whew. It's a mess though, let me tell you. And it's gonna look like that. You see that? And then we're gonna go ahead and just put it in our oil. Just like that. And these we're gonna fry until they're crispy. This is the only time you just fry it one time. So there we go, just right in your palm. And as always, be patient when you're doing things like this. You know, it'll tell you when it's time to turn it over. Because sometimes you want to be quick and they fall apart in the oil and then you want to get all bent out of shape, because I know I do. And so I'm just going to add, and they're fun to eat. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over. And as you can see, these arañitas are frying up really nicely. This is what you want, for them to crisp up on both sides. You see that? Doesn't that look delicious? And you know it's gonna be crunchy. So we're gonna go ahead and take these out of the oil. So now that I got my little arañitas out, and they look just like that, don't they look lovely? I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little salting here. Just little, not that much. And we have these deliciousness right here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring back my other tostones right here. Put them all there. Like so. And then we got our lovely garlic oil. There it is, it's infused. So you don't want to take big old chunks of garlic out of it. You see how lovely that is? But you just want to take it and drizzle some all over the tostone. Or like I said, you can put mayo ketchup on it if you like. But sometimes I prefer the garlic. It's delicious. Toma papi, you tell me which one you want to eat first. He's going to have a little bit of both. Good as always, right? Try another, huh? You like it?
Yeah.
What is there not to like? Try another arañitas, one of the little spiders. But that's how you do the tostones. Now, like I said, I freeze them for another time, and I do that when I have a lot of plantains. This is just really easy to just have them on the ready. So what I do is I take them, as you can see, and I put them all on here as such, and then I'm going to continue frying them and filling this rack up. You don't want them to touch each other, because while they're flash freezing in the freezer, you don't want them to fuse together, because the whole point of flash freezing them for about a half an hour, so that when you put them in the freezer bag, they don't stick to one another, and you can just go in there, grab what you need, and fry. So I finished frying all of my plantains, and I put them on the rack. I actually ended up using this rack and a half another one. And I laid them all out and stuck them in my freezer for about a half an hour and had them flash frozen. So now they're very easy for me to put in my freezer bags and store them for when I want to use them. So here I have my little cups, you see? And those I'll just put here for when I need them. And I managed to make quite a few of them, so I'm happy about that. So we have those. You will be so kind. And then in this one I have my regular tostones that I made. And for the arañitas, you don't flash freeze those. Those you really can't freeze. Those you make when you have the desire to basically eat them, because I wouldn't even try to grate them and freeze them. I'm pretty sure you can, but you know, you want that sticky consistency that you get the minute you finish grating them, in order to make the little arañitas, or I call them little hash browns, because that's what they really look like to me. But here we have them. I'm gonna continue to put these in there. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy me one of my tostones. So good with that garlicky flavor. Oh my God. Baby, you want some more? And as always, ooh, I got a mouthful of tostone. As always, if you like my video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And until my next video, God bless. Bye-bye.